much of our CBC News reporting, and it was stellar reporting, was coming from Briar Stewart. Now, there she is there in action. This is becoming a little bit of a case of a reporter becoming part of the story, as you're going to discover. Because Briar Stewart with me this morning live. Hello, Briar. Good morning to you.
Good
and
morning.
a special guest with Briar. This is Nina Forte. Good morning, Nina.
Good morning.
Now, I should say new mom, Nina Forte. Nice to see. New mom as of?
As of May 18th.
May 18th. Okay, that's an important date because it was May the 3rd that Nina, who's from Fort McMurray, along with the rest of people in the city, had to evacuate. Right, Nina?
You betcha.
So tell me about the story of your, okay, wait a second. At that time, you hadn't had a baby. Obviously, that was the 3rd. Had you chosen a name for your baby?
No baby names. We had a list, and we were pretty set on a boy name, but the girl name was still a little fuzzy, and it was still up in the air.
Okay, so tell me about the evacuation of May the 3rd and the discussion that you had with your husband, Bill.
So the 3rd, we get the mandatory evacuation. Mm-hmm. Bill comes home from work. We're frantically throwing things in a suitcase. You know, we're watching the traffic pile up on the street, and we're getting out of town, and we go down to actually Bill's shop there and just wait it out a little bit and see if we can get south, because it was blocked for the longest time with the fire. So we were gonna probably have to go north. So eventually we just saw the flood of cars going south, and we said, hey, let's take this opportunity, let's go south. So we started heading south, and it's bumper-to-bumper traffic on
as Briar
highways.
was telling us about, of course, as that was going on. Okay, and then so you're in that traffic, and?
Yeah, bumper-to-bumper traffic on Highway 63, and we're looking around, and like I said, there was cars in the ditches, people, you know, like the things that people had on the back of their vehicles, like boxes that said photos, and it was just heartbreaking. And then you're there for hours, and I said to Bill, I said, you know, like, we still haven't really come up with a girl name yet. Maybe we should talk about that.
You had the time.
Yeah, we had the time, and we lost radio reception about halfway in during our drive, and we tuned into the National, and we heard Briar, and the name Briar kept coming up, and I finally said to Bill, what about Briar? He's like, yeah, I like that. So I really like unique names, and I wanted a unique name, but we didn't know any Briars. Besides like Briar, this Briar.
That Briar. I am bringing you in, Briar. I promise. I just want to hear Nina's story.
No problem. Hey.
So this was the initial discussion, and then baby's born on the 18th, and then it was by that time it had been sealed, or were you just still waiting to hear what Dad thought of the idea on the actual day?
No, we confirmed before I went in that if it was a girl, it was going to be Briar, because we didn't know the gender.
Okay.
So when she was born, the doctor said, well, what's her name? And I looked up at Bill, and I think Bill was a little choked up, and he took a couple seconds, and he says, Briar?
Okay, well,
so
cue
yep.
Bill. Okay, number one, cue Bill with Briar, and Briar, meet Briar. She's beautiful. Now look at that, Briar Stewart. I have to say, Briar Stewart. What do you think about this?
Well, you know, it was Bill's sister who had actually emailed me the story.
Yes.
And it's one of those, you know, I did get some emails about the coverage in Fort McMurray, but reading that one, I mean, it just, how can you not smile? It's such a sweet story, and you know, I quite like my name. It's unique, and it's very flattering to hear that you were paying attention to the coverage, and that, you know, the name stuck with you, and being able to meet them, and she's absolutely gorgeous.
Thanks.
And
Thank you.
her hair is fantastic.
I know, it's sort of a similar shade, isn't it, Briar?
Yeah,
that is
and
amazing.
A lot of hair, but beautiful, and very, very nice to meet you both.
Me too.
Has this anything like this ever happened to you before, Briar Stewart?
No, not at all.
No, okay.
Not at all.
I didn't think so. I just want to be sure. So, Dad, how do you feel? What a beautiful baby girl you have. Your connection always now to the fire and to CBC reporting and Briar Stewart. Tell me a little bit about your take on this.
Well, it's funny because when I was a kid, growing up in Ontario, we got evacuated in 1980, and my parents used to talk about that quite a bit when we were kids. And now I'll have a funny, I don't know how funny it is, but I'll have interesting story to share with my daughter when she's older.
Isn't that terrific? She really is lovely, and she's a good girl. For she's only like a week and some. My goodness
week
gracious,
old,
a
yeah.
week and. So, is she showing any natural signs of curiosity? I mean, is she asking questions yet or anything? Is she really going to be another Briar?
I can see it in her eyes. Yeah.
Can you see it there? She's
dear.
gonna be an intrepid reporter. Now,
That's right.
Nina, what's the story with your house? Are you still out? You're obviously still out of your house. Are you going to be going back with the rest as of the 1st of June?
Still out of the house. I believe our re-entry date's the 2nd.
Okay.
Bill's gonna head up and just check things out. I'm assuming we have some sort of smoke damage at the very least, so we don't want to be bringing Briar into that. And we're safe where we are, and we're with family, so just take our time and make sure it's good before we go back.
But hopefully your house, do you know, is it standing, Bill? It's intact, and the nursery will be intact, and everything will be okay?
It's intact. Everything's where we left it from what we understand, and we're looking forward to getting home.
I bet. And bringing that baby home. Can I see
Absolutely.
your face? Can you? And Briar, get in there beside, just so we can see if there's any vague
Resemblance.
resemblance there. Look at that beautiful Briar
just
and
gonna-
Briar. Meet Briar. Now, I know that's so unbelievable. Briar Stewart, if you ever had any doubt, and you shouldn't because it was stellar reporting of the impact your work had, there she is personified, and right there.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Yeah, she's beautiful. All right, are you heading up to Fort Mac today, by any chance, Briar Stewart? Not today.
No, but probably very early next week, I'm sure.
I would guess so, for when people begin returning, people like Bill and Nina and beautiful Briar. Thank you for coming in to introduce your baby and to share the story. Really appreciate it, all of you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thanks. And thanks to our own Briar Stewart. Great work. Bye.
Bye-bye.